الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم إله الأولين والآخرين وأصلي وأسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. We have studied the about Imam Abu Hanifa and Malik and Shafi and Ahmad, right? Their biography. Today we're going to study something different, basically a little different. Same book, mashallah, beautiful book. I talk about which is, as you see, we have four schools of thought. We have some scholars throughout the history. They said we should not be basically blindly following a madhab. So they said sectarian fanaticism, whatever the word is, right? So basically, do not follow a madhab blindly. So some people who are the people who have went with this madhab, major scholars in Islam, which is basically said we should take some of the four madhab. And whoever scholars Islam is not only four madhab, they said. It's not only four men, it's more than that. That's what they said. So whoever have stronger dalil among the four, let's say you follow certain madhab, Maliki, then you found a stronger opinion with Abu Hanifa. You go take that opinion because your goal, same goal as the Imam, his goal is to follow the Sunnah. All right? So he said, do not follow blindly. Go to the Sunnah. And the Sunnah, clear, Rasulullah have built the foundation for the Sunnah, what to follow, how to do it. And the best three generations, which is Sahaba, companions, and the Tabi'in, the generation after Sahaba, and Tabi'in, not all have madhab. They call them Qurun Mufaddala, or Al-Khairiyah, the best three generations. So he said, why don't you go back to the same road, same way they did? So this is what this today's topic about. And they say that we're going to talk about the major scholars who have followed this opinion, right? Since the best three generations have no madhab. They went right to the root, which is the Sunnah, the Quran, the Sunnah. Of course, this is nothing criticizing the madhab itself, but the one who followed the madhab blindly. Because no imam from the four madhab or other imam ever said, the deen, all the deen, what I have said. The followers, they act in this way. But the imam himself, he didn't say it. He said, I say wrong or right. If the hadith differed than my opinion, my madhab, my way is the hadith. And he said this is the reason why the ummah was basically divided, and the enemies of Islam basically took over our lands and so on. And because people all what they want, they just want the opinion of the madhab they are following, regardless whether right or wrong. This is my madhab. They went to the point, he said, they were totally against the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They went to the point, they will not, if you follow this madhab, you will not marry someone from the other madhab. If you're Shafi, you don't marry Maliki. If you're Hanafi, you don't marry Hanbali, and vice versa. To get to that level. At one point, like talk up to 50 years ago. A little longer than probably 6 years ago, all the way they will not marry from each other. Matter of fact, used to be in the Haram in Mecca, 4 mihrabs. Hanafi pray by themselves, Maliki by themselves, when the Imam Shafi comes, and the Imam of Hanabila. So each follow, they follow their Imams, and then alhamdulillah, they united with one Imam. And they said one of the things, because they differ, one of the opinion says that, because they have differ, and they didn't know basic people, they get confused. Each one say, this is the opinion. This is it. I'm Hanafi, I'm Shafi, I'm Maliki, I'm Hanbali. Each one said, this is the opinion, this is it. So said one story was one of the kings, or like an emir or governor. He got upset and he divorced his wife. He told his wife, you are taliq 3 times. Right? And this man, subhanAllah, he said, he went around. He was from Faris, from Iran nowadays. He was among the people of Sunnah. When he divorced his wife 3 times, he went to the 4 school of thoughts. Each one told him, you cannot. Get to your wife till she married another man. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, حَتَّى تَنْكِحَ زَوْجًا غَيْرَهُ, till she married another man. Of course, nowadays the opinion is different because there's an opinion, for example, they went further with the search and so on. Said if you divorce your wife 3 times or 10 times or 20, the same gathering will count as one. So he got the fatwa 3 times in the same gathering, done, she's done. So he went to a Shia Imam or Sheikh. He said, no, you can go back to your wife. You know, they give any fatwa till nowadays, they didn't change. So he went there, and since one, he fell in love with this guy, and he followed the Shia, and he became Shia, and the whole country became Shia. For one fatwa. So because they differ without knowledge. Each one was fighting for his own madhab. طيب. So this is one of the consequences or the things backlash the deen or so on. One of the major scholars has supported this methodology, which is should not follow madhab, was Imam Ibn Hazm. He's the most famous one. Right? Ibn Hazm rahimahullah ta'ala. Ibn Hazm was, of course, he lived in Andalus, which is Spain nowadays, in Medina, Qurtuba. And he was very, very knowledgeable. And his father was a prince, basically. And he loved knowledge since he was a little kid. He was learning the fiqh Malik. He was Maliki for a little while. Because the Maliki madhab was spread in that part of the Muslim world. Close to Morocco, Spain, Algeria, till nowadays. So like Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, mainly Malikis. Till now, since then. And the whoever rules there, they will rule according to Madhab Malik. As you remember, we said the reason for Madhab Abu Hanif to be spread more, because was the minister of justice was Abu Yusuf. He have hired everyone follow Imam Abu Hanifa's madhab. So it was spread during the Abbasid Empire. So this one was probably toward the end, when the Abbasid Empire became weaker. So the Maliki was taken over that side of the Muslim world and was basically the official madhab for the side of the Muslim Ummah. Then he met the people who criticized the Malik. So he studied madhab Shafi'i. He became Shafi'i again. So after he was a Maliki, then he became Shafi'i. And really he loved the madhab of Imam Shafi'i and followed for a little while. Then he let go all the madhab. He said he followed only the hadith, the Quran, the Sunnah, let go anything beside whatever Quran and Sunnah occurred to him. He did not take qiyas or ijtihad or anything like this. So, of course, they said something called al-madhab al-zahiri. Zahiri. What appeared in the Quran, the Sunnah, they said this is the 5th madhab. Scholars said this is the 5th madhab. And mainly they said he was a Shafi'i. And he did not take the qiyas. What the qiyas mean?
Knowledge.
Knowledge?
So they draw.
Okay.
So they draw like an instance that in the past in the Sunnah, and they try and draw parallels to and applying it.
Wonderful, yes. So Ibn Hazm was basically, he used to, the downside of Ibn Hazm rahimahullah ta'ala was he criticized the scholars. He didn't care. He was a scholar, but he said his tongue as sharp as the sword of Al-Hajjaj. He said they meet, the tongue of Ibn Hazm and the sword of the Hajjaj, they meet. They're twins, they said. You know, sometimes they say words harder than they've heard, more than physical hit or something. So he said basically he was very tough when it comes to that stuff. So you should not, he said, it's haram just to follow blindly, he said, rahimahullah ta'ala. And because he said the kitab should be the kitab and the sunnah and ijma'. And what ijma' mean? Agreement, okay. Consensus. So that's the ijma'. So agreed upon, consensus, or kitab and the sunnah, and this is it. And he said, if you don't know anything, so basically you should not take any opinion. He said, listen to this statement he have said, very important. He said, how could be an average person in Spain, Andalus, follow Malik, and the one in Yemen follow Shafi'i, and the one in the East follow Abu Hanifa, and their fatwas contradict one another. So if someone gather all the fatwa, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not command us with that. He said the deen of Allah is one. Of course, with the fiqh has different opinions sometimes, because the Sahaba have interpreted that even the one hadith in the present Rasul they interpreted different. But according to what he said, I'm just relaying what he have said. He said Allah did not command us to do this. He said, imagine average person. He said there's something big like crazy. He said the person in Yemen, another person in Spain, and the one person in the East, Iraq, or so on, and each one followed different madhab, and their fatwas contradict one another. That's not the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The rule of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said one. So he says, no, you should not do that. He said, what about an average person? What should he do? He said basically, if you see a man, you ask him. He said mandatory upon an average person has not the person's tour of knowledge or an imam. He said he go to the mufti. He tell him, where did you get this? When he asks him for a fatwa, he asks him what the dalil for the fatwa. Is this Quran? Is this Sunnah? Is this ijma'? So we need to know. If he said a person, if he said did not bring a dalil from the Quran or Sunnah or consensus opinion, then you said you go to somewhere else. You ask someone else has a dalil. Clear? Confused? Okay. Because he said, Allah said in the Quran, his dalil from the Quran, he said, "Tabi'u ma unzila ilaykum min rabbikum wa la tattabi'u min dunihi awliya." He said, follow what have been revealed to you from Allah, from your Lord, and do not follow anyone beside that. So, and he said, فَإِن تَنَازَعْتُمْ فِي شَيْءٍ فَرُدُّوهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَالرَّسُولِ. If you differ, then refer back to Allah and His Messenger. He said, this is the dalil. He said that he get his madhab, which is Zahiri, from Quran and Sunnah and Ijma' and the dalil, he said. So, basically the three, and the dalil has something different interpretation with him, rahimahullah ta'ala. This is the first one who said we should not follow a madhab blindly no matter what. The second one, which is the most famous one, هو شيخ الإسلام ابن تيمية رحمه الله تعالى. Ibn Taymiyyah, there's nobody that did not hear of Ibn Taymiyyah. There's no one doesn't know about Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah ta'ala. And when you ask about Taymiyyah, you find he knows Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah. He said, one of the scholars said he's like the sun. Goes with the sun. It goes rise up in the morning and set in the evening. So everyone in the world, Muslim world, heard of Ibn Taymiyyah. He has so many followers and so many enemies. Rahimahullah ta'ala. Because he have defeated, basically as we're going to see, he got to a certain level of knowledge. No one probably ever reached that level after him. Before him, of course, you have the Sahaba, Tabi'in, and so on. But after him, there's those said, no one have reached to his level. Of course, he was born the year 661 after Hijrah in Sham, in Syria, suburb of Damascus there. And he came from like a knowledgeable family. He is his father and grandfather, they were scholars and so on. So they were known family with their deen. He lived his life based upon advising one another, the people. He spread his knowledge. He was harmed, as we're going to see, during his life so much. He knows about every sect and every madhab more than its own people. He knows about Hanafi more than the scholars of Ahnaf. He knows about Shafi'i more than the scholars of Shafi'i. He knows about Maliki more than the scholars of Maliki, and he knows about Hanbali more than the scholars of Hanabila. Each one he debate with him, he won the debate with anything. Not only that, the Sufis, the Ahl al-Kalam, the philosophers, each single one of those he had debate with Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah ta'ala, and he won the debate. And He have said he have defended the deen with everything, and he was a mujahid on top of it. The Mongolians, when they invaded Baghdad and the Muslim Ummah, he was a mujahid. He fought for the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he said, the one who blindly followed the Madhab, he defeated them. The one who, the philosophers, he beat them. Every single one, he won the debate with them. And subhanAllah, he said, of course, he was in prison for so many times. And he said, very famous statement. He said, "In habasuni, fahabsi khalwa." He said, if they imprison me, he said, my imprisonment will be like, in a way, time to be alone with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or time for devotion. All right, subhanAllah, that's he said, subhanAllah. So, fahabsi khalwa, or retreat with Allah. Done. So this time will be retreat with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, devotion with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They imprison me. So my imprisonment will be that. He said, وَإِنْ أَخْرَجُونِي مِنْ بَلَدِي فَخُرُوجِ سِيَاحًا. He said, if they kick me or force me to leave my homeland, so he said, this will be, that my exile will be like a journey. You know, when you go out on vacation, you leave your hometown, right? He said, there was the way to go. And he said, وَإِنْ قَتَلُونِي. If they kill me, so I become a shaheed for the sake of Allah. This is the way he looked at the life. Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah ta'ala. طيب. He said when he was in prison many times, and he died when he was in prison. He was in and out so many times out of the prison. SubhanAllah, one time he said when he came out, his followers, his students, he has so many students and major students in Islam, he said, this is the time for us to revenge. He said, SubhanAllah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have showed the truth. The light of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, clear to everyone. Allah have defeated those liars. So, and the one who followed the falsehood. So he said, I don't like, subhanAllah, I don't want revenge of anyone after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have shows the truth to everyone. And he said, أحللت كل مسلم آذاني. He said, shows how much he loved Allah and His Messenger. He said, anyone who said anything about me or who have harmed me, mentally or physically, I have forgave him. Except the enemies of Allah and His Messenger. Shows the love of Allah and His Messenger. And he mentioned as Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu was his role model. Abu Bakr, as you know, he was supporting a man, his name Mistah. When the incident of Ifk, when they have accused Aisha radiallahu anha with adultery, before Allah have sent an ayat shows she's pure in the Quran and so on. So this was the whole rumor spread all over the Medina. And one of the ones was spreading rumors was Mistah, and he was fully supported by Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. So Abu Bakr said, Wallahi, I will never give him money anymore, never support him. He said, Wallahi. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent an ayah, he said, till the end, he said, ألا تحبون أن يغفر الله لكم قال وليعفو وليصفح لا تحبون أن يغفر لكم. He said, you should forgive and pardon one another. Don't you like Allah to forgive you? Allah revealed this ayah after the incidents and after Abu Bakr made the oath. So Abu Bakr understood that the ayah was sent to him. He said, Bala, indeed, I like Allah to forgive me. He said, I forgave him and I will support him again. So Abu Bakr was his role model. He said, what they did to Abu Bakr, and he forgave me, and I forgive everyone have whatever they have done to me. Rahimahullah ta'ala. One of the stories of Ibn Taymiyyah, rahimahullah ta'ala, when he got out of the jail, the prison, as you know, one of those judges was his name Ibn Makhluf al-Maliki. He doesn't have knowledge, but he hated Ibn Taymiyyah. And he gave fatwa, this judge, Ibn Makhluf al-Maliki, he said, kill him and I will face Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's, we have killed him for a legit reason. Imagine. Imam Shawkani rahimahullah ta'ala said, how could you make such a statement? Imagine if they killed Ibn Taymiyyah, which will be very difficult for a person to come at the level of Ibn Taymiyyah. So subhanAllah, the judges, they were basically against him, because every time there's an issue, they take him to jail. This became like that. So one time, the sultan, the king or the governor or that person, he had issues with the judges. So the governor, the emir, the prince, he wanted revenge from them. So now Ibn Taymiyyah is out. He said, he called them, he said, they did this and this and this and that against you. So he tried to get a fatwa from Ibn Taymiyyah, so they give him a fatwa to execute it. So he said, subhanAllah, he won't take advantage. He said, after he told him what they have done to Ibn Taymiyyah, rahimahullah ta'ala, and this is your time. At least throw him in jail, right? So he said, they have harmed you, the reason for you, that's why I really judged against you because of them, and so on. And rahimahullah ta'ala, he said, he praised the judges and how high their status in the ummah, because they bring justice. If the judges like take bribes and so on, or they unfair, will become chaos. So he said those judges have special status in the ummah, one of the highest status. And basically he said, if you kill those judges, you're not going to find anyone as good as they are. Imagine, subhanAllah. So, and basically whatever they have done for me or against me, they're forgiven. I'm forgiven, subhanAllah. Ibn Makhluf, the same guy, the one who gave the fatwa to kill him, he said, I will face Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said, I have not seen someone like Ibn Taymiyyah. He said, حرضنا عليه, we have urged the Amir or the king against him, but we couldn't get what we want because they want him to be killed. But he said, وَقَدِرَ عليه, when he was able, so when he was able basically to do whatever for us, he said he have forgiven us, not only forgive us, and also he defended us. Two things. So this is Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah ta'ala. Of course, we can talk about Taymiyyah for hours, and one of it shows how big his knowledge. A man came from Wasit, a city in Iraq. He asked him for fatwa. He made a book between Asr and Maghrib. The book is named Al-Aqidah Al-Wasitiyyah. And we have explained this book, right? And the book, like, if you want to explain the book, take like probably huge books to know, to explain what's in that book. Shows how much knowledge he has. And he said also, one of his books, they said also that another book, a man came, his neighbor said, I need a little book, just not a book, not a few advice just from you to my family. He made another book between Dhuhr and Asr, a different day. Al-Hamawiyyah. So that's what Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah. He said there's a book called Majmu' al-Fatawa. You know how many volumes? He said 37. About this big when you have it in your library, bookshop. And he said he never read this book. Of course, we lost so many of his books. He said people they got from Egypt, from Syria, from Sham, from all over, they got him in this big book, which is Fatawa. Student, he's right, is only the Fatawa he have made, Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah. So they said, some scholars they said Ibn Taymiyyah have the 5th Islamic Madhab. Yeah, rahimahullah. And everything you see like a fatwa and opinion about Ibn Taymiyyah. There's so many beautiful fatwa for him, rahimahullah ta'ala, shows that our deen's huge. It's not only for madhab, more even the four madhab is huge, mashallah, without criticizing any of the four madhab. They all, mashallah, top scholars. But the only thing he's against to follow anyone blindly, because basically the moment you follow anyone blindly, you are against the madhab itself, against the imam. So that's what, so this subhanAllah shows the hearts, how beautiful, how clear and pure, as Allah mentioned, لَمَنْ أَتَى اللَّهَ بِقَلْبٍ سَلِيمٍ. All those Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ask Allah to grant us pure hearts and clear hearts. Go ahead, Abu Mustafa. تقدموا اتفضل.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا محمد رسول الله يا رب اغفر
Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wasallam. Inshallah, just want to review just who's the scholars also have. Basically, they do want us to go follow any madhab blindly. They said the madhab and whatever we follow the stronger opinion among any scholar, beside of course the four madhab and others. So we have, inshallah, we just mentioned the names and we go through it, inshallah, in details next week for Allah gives us life. Ibn al-Qayyim, rahimahullah ta'ala, Imam al-Shawkani, rahimahullah ta'ala, and Imam Ahmad Shakir, rahimahullah ta'ala, and many others, and of course from the new people, Imam Shinqiti, and so on. Inshallah, then next week for Allah gives us life again, of course beside the Shaykh al-Albani and a few others. We'll talk about them, inshallah. We're going to go in details about, like, for example, Imam Ibn Qayyim, rahimahullah ta'ala, were one of the top students of Shaykh al-Islam Taymiyyah Ibn Qayyim, also another very, very famous scholar, have a lot of beautiful book to read and will benefit our inshallah. هذا والله أعلم سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.